Where the stimulus bill stands right now and when you could start receiving your stimulus checks. Welcome back everyone to your stimulus check and stimulus package update for today. I hope you enjoyed my couple live updates that we did yesterday. If you only caught one of them because we had to actually do two parts because I got cut off with a phone call. So if you didn't catch both parts, well, both will be down below in the description if you had only hopped on part one or part two. So both will be down below in the description for you. And you can watch this video though first before going to those live updates. This will certainly cover everything that you need to know. And in this video, we do have to cover where the stimulus package stands right now in the Congress, the current state of affairs, and when can we ultimately expect the bill to be passed and those stimulus checks to start being distributed into the accounts of Americans. Let's get started right away, but before we do, as always, make sure you do go ahead and stimulate that like button. Make sure that you do give the video a big thumbs up. I would appreciate that. Make sure you are subscribed. Click that big red button. Also click the notification bell as well. That will actually notify you when I do post a brand new video. And we have now just added recently, as of last night, you can actually become a sponsor of the channel. If you're on desktop, you'll actually see this little join button on my channel next to where my subscriber count is. And it'll actually say that you could join the channel and actually become a sponsor of my channel to support it even further. So that's brand new, a brand new addition that we just added. So if you want to do that, totally optional, but I would appreciate that as well. So where do we begin? Well, President Biden had ran and campaigned on bipartisanship, and he pledged to bring the country together and pledged for unity. But if you've seen anything of the $1.9 trillion stimulus debate, it's been anything but bipartisan. But the president is on the brink of securing approval from Congress of his nearly $2 trillion stimulus bill, as Democrats were able to avoid the unified fight from Republicans of opposition. The bill didn't get through Congress unscathed. There did have to be compromise and amendments made to the bill. For example, the unemployment benefits had to be trimmed and reduced from $400 a week to $300 a week. There had to be less people qualifying for the stimulus check, and the provision for the $15 an hour national minimum wage hike was stripped. So assuming the House of Representatives passes the Senate's version of the bill, with also probably a slim majority, it will then go to the president's desk for a signature. But it's not the kind of governance that Biden promised just 45 days ago in his inaugural address when he pleaded with Americans and lawmakers to try out unity and compromise. Biden addressed the nation from the White House yesterday, Saturday, after the Senate passed the bill. He had said, quote, "Everything that is in this package is designed to relieve the suffering and meet the most urgent needs of the nation and put us in a better position to prevail." He said this plan will get checks out the door starting this month to the American people who so desperately need the help. He said the resources in this plan will be used to expand and speed up manufacturing and distribution of vaccines so we can get every single American vaccinated sooner rather than later. He added, "I promise the American people that help is on the way. Today I can say that we've taken one more giant step forward in delivering on that promise." Now, Biden did pledge $2,000 stimulus checks in his campaign. He said that if the Senate were to take the majority of Democrats, that $2,000 stimulus checks would be the figure, and they would also start going right out the door when he became president. And that didn't happen either. He said this plan puts us on a path to beating the virus. This plan gives those families who are struggling the most the help and breathing room to get through this moment. This plan gives small businesses in this country a fighting chance to survive. So what's the timeline and what could the sequence of events look like? Well, after the U.S. Senate passed the package and approved it on Saturday, then the U.S.-controlled House of Representatives is poised to give the final green light to the bill on Tuesday. Then it will allow the bill to be sent off to President Biden. Now, as long as there's no last-minute trouble in the House, where Democrats hold a slim majority, this will be a major political victory for President Biden, who made the stimulus legislation one of his top priorities since entering office on January 20th. The stimulus bill, which is known as the American Rescue Plan, represents one of the largest U.S. government interventions into the economy post-World War II era. It is just short of the size of the $2.2 trillion March 2020 stimulus bill, but it is larger than the $787 billion recovery plan during the 2009 financial crisis. So this would be the second largest stimulus bill in history and second largest piece of legislation in U.S. history for that matter. Not a single congressional Republican voted in favor of this legislation, highlighting the non-bipartisanship, and it also exposed the divide in the Democratic Party between moderates and progressives, including Senator Joe Manchin. Manchin had won controversial modifications to benefits for struggling Americans, and in his defense, he had said he had tried to, quote, "make sure we were targeting where the help was needed and to do everything I could to bring us together." He is a powerful centrist in the 50-50 split down the middle Senate, and he faced fierce criticism from AOC Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of the dropping of the $15 an hour measure that was supposed to be in the bill. He wasn't the only moderate Democrat, as well as Kyrsten Sinema, another centrist Democrat, voted in opposition to the $15 an hour minimum wage, and AOC described them as, quote, two people in this entire country that are holding back a complete transformation in working people's lives. I'm curious, what is your stance on the $15 an hour provision? Do you believe that it should have been in separate legislation later this year? Should it have been in the stimulus bill and it shouldn't have been dropped? Or are you totally against it and you do not believe we should raise the minimum wage? What are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comment section. This stimulus legislation will not be the last uncompromising bill that Democrats are seeking to pass. In just the coming weeks, Democrats are seeking to pass measures to strengthen gun safety and protect union rights. These are, of course, two pursuits that are abhorred by Republicans. Democrats agree that they are using their substantial leverage to reach far beyond what Republicans would support, and Senator Chuck Schumer is justifying their actions, saying, let's face it, we need to get this done. It would be so much better if we could in a bipartisan way, but we need to get it done. So let's look at a prospective timeline of when these stimulus checks can start being sent out to American bank accounts and when the stimulus bill could be passed. Well, Democrats and President Biden are seeking, of course, that March 14th deadline. That is when unemployment benefits will expire for millions of Americans, and other pandemic aid programs will also expire on that date. The House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer has said that the House will vote on the bill on Tuesday, so it does appear that Democrats will in fact make the cut, make that deadline. During the first round of stimulus back in April of 2020, it took the federal government around 2 weeks to start getting those checks out to Americans, and it took about 1 week from when the second iteration of stimulus was signed back in early January for those $600 checks to start going out to Americans. So if the bill is signed into law on March 14th, or maybe even earlier than that, we can expect those checks to start going out the week of March 22nd, so late March to early April, and Biden has promised that checks will start going out this month. He has pledged. This is again if there's no obstruction, no roadblocks that we could face in the House, where Democrats face an extremely tight margin of Democratic control. As we await the House vote on Tuesday, we'll likely hear more from congressional leaders and members of Congress about where the bill stands and the prospects of it passing, so we'll likely find out more in just the next 24 hours. I'll be here for you guys every single step of the way, holding your hand throughout the entire process. If it's an absolute emergency, I like to hop on live, get on YouTube live. So what do you actually like more? Do you like the live content or like the pre-recorded? Which one do you like more? Let me know down below in the comments. I'm curious to hear. More updates and developments are to come. These next 48 hours are absolutely critical. So if you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, smash the like button. I would appreciate that. And if you'd like to see more content from my channel, make sure that you are subscribed, but notifications are turned on. You're not going to know if I go live unless you have notifications turned on. So only people that have notifications turned on actually end up seeing the lives. So make sure that they are turned on. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, I have that new sponsorship. You can actually sponsor the channel for a couple bucks a month. You can see that down below. It's next to the subscriber count. You'll actually see a little button if you're on desktop, on the desktop version of YouTube. You're not going to see it if you're on mobile. It'll actually say join. You can actually join the channel and sponsor this channel. So that's a latest feature, latest addition that I just added last night. So if you want to do that, I'd appreciate that. But if you'd like to get some free stocks, all on me, all free, use my links down below in the description as well. You can get 2 free stocks when you sign with Robinhood and or Webull, some valued to thousands of dollars in some cases. So use my links down below in the description, get some free stocks and get even more when you refer other people. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.